Look at this story.
Oh my gosh.
The disturbing story of the heart attack gun invented by the CIA during the Cold War. The heart attack gun fired a dart made of frozen shellfish toxin that would enter the target's bloodstream and kill them in mere minutes without leaving a trace. Senator Frank Church holds aloft the heart attack gun during a public hearing. I mean, think about that. A frozen dart with shellfish toxin? That sounds like caveman technology. I mean, not really, but it's like, based on our standards, sure, you're just poisoning somebody. Think about what they could make. What if it had like polonium in it or something more brutal? So easily to deliver this stuff. So easy to deliver these kinds of things. So there's a scope on it, and they hit you with it. You have a heart attack, and it leaves no trace.
Amazing.
Yep.
And then how did that come out? Do you know much about this story? Yeah, because these guys are testifying in front of Congress about it right now.
They say in 1975, more than 30 years of almost unrestricted CIA activity came grinding to a halt before Senator Frank Church on Capitol Hill after the shocking revelations of the Watergate scandal. Okay, so I guess it was Watergate. The American public had suddenly gained an intense interest in the activities of their intelligence agencies. Unable to resist the growing disquiet any longer, Congress was forced to peer to the dark corners of the Cold War, and some of them held bizarre secrets. What they found was the stuff of paranoid thrillers and hair-raising spy fiction alike. Aside from plans to assassinate national leaders from across the globe and extensive spying on American citizens, investigators came across the heart attack gun, a macabre weapon that could cause death in minutes without leaving a trace. This is the story of what may be one of the Central Intelligence Agency's most chilling gadgets
that we know of.
Yeah.
There was an old conspiracy where this woman was posting crazy stuff on Facebook, and people started asking, like, who was she and why was she posting this? Because it was like seemingly random gibberish. It would be a large paragraph saying something like, I went to the store to pick up an oatmeal spoon, but the dog came running in with the vanilla. When I saw it, I screamed and jumped in the car and drove to the edge of the cliff where the surfers were screaming. Like, it was just nonsense, right? And you were like, what is this? And so everyone was trying to figure out what it was. And I don't know if it could have just been fake. Some people believed that what was happening was that someone working in intelligence was using a fake profile to post messages that someone else could receive without anyone making the connection. The message was publicly available, hard to find because it was on a random Facebook profile, and only the person who knew what to look for could read it. Others speculated that the woman who was posting it, who was older, was former CIA, and that she had been drugged with some kind of psychoactive, drug to basically corrupt her mind, so that she could no longer tell people what she knew. Like it was someone who knew secrets who was going to blow the whistle. So they used some kind of drug to twist her brain so she could no longer form proper sentences.
Was she CIA? She was CIA? Is that why that?
Just conspiracy theory. Just people were like, they believed they found her name in like, a database related to like government workers or something. Could all just be fake. Could have just been someone having a laugh. But there was like years of these posts.
Interesting.
So it was kind of like, I don't know about that. It could just be some crazy lady who was posting random gibberish because she was unwell. But it's crazy to hear these stories because while that story may be just totally irrelevant, when you hear about in the 70s they have a heart attack gun, my question is, does the United States or any other government have the ability to make you insane? How hard would it be to do something to someone's brain to make it so they can't talk properly?
I don't know if this is off the list of stuff we can talk about, but can you talk about other governments?
What do you mean?
So I like to research a lot about things happening in with China's government.
Yeah.
And
Are they doing it?
I've seen some documentaries. You were talking about the Havana syndrome, and I've seen some documentaries of people that oppose their government. And what happens is that there was this like one family where the regime was sent after them, and they had these types of devices that would be in proximity to their houses, and it would cause them to become very confused. It would make them ill. So it's like what you're describing sounds kind of similar. And then I also saw something about how they're working on something to essentially something to do with like controlling their people's brains. I don't know how advanced they are, how far off that is, but that's a possibility from what I've been seeing.
Well, this brings me to Yuval Noah Harari talking about hacking humans. This is like one of the number 3 guys at the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
And he's blatantly saying it has come to the point now where we can hack human brains, and it's going to continue to happen.
But you got to understand that in a rudimentary sense, hacking the human brain is just talking to someone.
Right.
You know what
True.
I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what to say to make them behave a certain way. So you publish commercials.
Oh, yeah.
You
Subliminal messaging was like the
Right.
oldest version of this in media, you know, when they'd flash an image in the middle of a commercial and you wouldn't even realize you saw it, but then you start thinking about it.
Dude, when I was like 20, I was hanging out with my friends, and we were watching. I can't remember. We might have been watching like Colbert Report or something, and it was a commercial, and it was dumb, and it was just like, you know, body armor to deodorant. We weren't paying attention, and then all of a sudden it went bam, real quick,
What?
and I caught it. It said U.S. Army, go U.S. Army.
What?
And then my friend had TiVo, and so I was like, stop it, go back. And there was a split second where it just showed the U.S. Army logo. I don't know what it was.
That's straight up from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Join the Navy.
And then
That's
I was
right.
like, dude, for like a second, it just played a bramp and showed that and flickered in and out. And it said, go Army. Like, it was like, I think it was go Army. It was like, it may have been an Army of one, whatever the logo was at the time.
Huh.
So I don't know what that was, but it just like flashed on the screen. And so far be it for me to accuse anybody of doing that on purpose. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I'm just saying that kind of stuff
was this
freaked
on
us out.
cable? Because sometimes
Yeah, it was
there
on
are weird
cable.
mix-ups with like the commercials that they're playing.
It could have been because we were watching cable for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like one
Because it was
commercial
Colbert.
overlapped
Yeah,
the
that's
other.
right. It's Comedy Central.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw like a porn one time, and there was
Really, Ian?
Yeah, let me tell you about it, Tim. There was subliminal like over the video. It was talking like the Russians have invaded. It is a humanitarian crisis. Just like
Wait, what?
Over,
When?
it kept repeating it over and over again.
Recently?
No, this was like 4 years ago.
When did the Russians invade?
I don't remember the exact propaganda that it was saying, but
Crimea.
it was like seeding this propaganda over and over again over the video. I was like, what the heck?
weird.
It was blatant. It wasn't quiet. It was like, it was subtle though. It was very weird. Very weird. The only way to see it was to listen to it. It was crazy.
You gotta
So
stop,
there
man.
are
That might be
Stuff's
true.
gonna destroy your brain.
there are a couple interesting devices that we know about. So apparently you can buy flashlights that will shine specific patterns of light or colors that make people feel nauseated.
Easily done. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's ULF sound generators, which is also the subject of
Ultra low.
ultra low frequency. I think this may be conspiracy territory. Like, well, I guess it's not a conspiracy; it's not criminal. But the idea is the militaries are working on technology where, and look this up because this might be nonsense. But I was reading about ghosts a long time ago. And I want scientific explanations for the ghost phenomenon. I don't care about someone being like, it's the spirit of someone. I'm like, get out of here. And so what I read was that in many of these areas where people claim there's hauntings, they've also found evidence of ultra low frequencies coming from maybe underground or from terrestrial movement, things like that, like geological activity. And this can have an impact on someone's body and cause manipulations in perception or a sense of someone being there around them or something like that.
Right.
And so this idea was weaponized. Purportedly, again, I haven't read, it was like 15 years ago, I was reading something on the internet, probably fake. But it was saying something like they have taken generators that generate ultra low frequency sound and it causes people to feel disoriented, confused, paranoid, and sick. So these kinds of weapons, I would have to say, I believe, come on. Of course, militaries around the world have been working on ways to incapacitate people by any means necessary.
This is the from militarytimes.com. It's called Talking Plasma. You can find that if you look up militarytimes.com and Talking Plasma. And instead of beaming a flashing light, or shouting over a loudspeaker to keep people away from sensitive areas, new technology being developed could allow troops to fire a laser that can form a plasma ball that talks to the potential intruder.
What?
Talks to someone with a laser. Okay, this is military tech.
Yeah, this is militarytimes.com. Pentagon scientists are making talking plasma laser balls for use as non-lethal weapons in 2019.
That's more like it. I was gonna say all these weapons seem
Stop or we'll be
clumsy.
forced to fire upon you.
This is awesome.
I think a lot of UFOs that we see on radar are these plasma balls being
Yeah.
moved around really fast, just with lasers.
What were you saying before? It was like 3 lasers?
Yeah, you triangulate, at least three or more. By quadrangulate, you can, and then you hit a point in the sky and create a ball of plasma, and then you can move.
So
that
it's
around.
basically all the lasers are intersecting.
Yeah.
Creating a single point where the energy intersects and you can see it.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. So maybe they're pointing those towards people's brains. I don't know. If they can make
They're
you hear
gonna-
things.
They're going to, one day Ian's going to be like complaining of hearing a humming noise. He's going to be like, the Panama pump, the Panama, what was it?
What was
I
it?
can't remember.
I wonder
What we're
if
talking about.
I hear you. I mean, all this set aside, though, I could understand them developing these experimental new technologies to use as weapons, but they pretty much know how to control people already. You just make them lazy.
Yep.
You destroy
Yeah,
their
but look-
ability to defer gratification.
That takes-
They
that takes
will do whatever
generations.
you want.
It
But they've
takes-
already done it.
Yes, but listen, no, I mean, we're here. We've got
A couple
tens
of us.
of thousands of
There
people
are always
watching.
there are always going to be some people in a population who don't fall into it. But
If they can take a sonar dish or something and point it at you and click a button, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, what's happening? Yes, I love Joe Biden. He is the greatest president. They'd do it. They'd be like, all right, mission
I
accomplished.
have to go make Biden tunes.
That's
I
right.
have to go
That's
make
right.
Biden tunes.
You're talking about ways to control that aren't like taking away something, like taking away your food or taking away your money.
Yeah, well, look, as long as you get people to pursue pleasure rather than virtue, as soon as they believe that public opinion is on a specific side of an issue, they're going to go along with it because that's what's easier for them, and they've habituated themselves towards always taking the path of least resistance.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.